Just about 10 minutes away from the start of the feature race in Jerez for this, the penultimate round. Some big news is broken over in the world of motor racing, and for Formula 2 drivers, everybody dreams of making it into Formula 1. Last year's winner in the series, Pierre Gasly, has had that dream come true when he got into the car in Malaysia, and that has now been confirmed. Jolyon Palmer has announced on Twitter, this has also been confirmed by Renault, that tomorrow will be his last race in Suzuka. Carlos Sainz will be replacing him, which means a big reshuffle. Gasly will remain at Toro Rosso with Danny Fiat to return. So a lot has happened. Marlon, what are your thoughts on this? Why would they do this with, you know, a handful of races left?
I think it's just teams really like Toro Rosso pushing their young drivers to come in. I think Helmut Marko said in an interview, and I cannot say all the words, but they're just more daring than the bigger teams like Ferrari and Mercedes in pushing their young drivers into Formula 1 and actually being successful with it. So having Gasly there now, Kvyat returning, and Sainz obviously showing his potential and moving on to a senior team like Renault, that's just been a whole domino effect of that.
In all of this, the sacrificial lamb has been the Super Formula Championship, which Gasly obviously now can't take part in, and he was in there with a chance, wasn't he, in this series?
Yeah, he had half a point off. Obviously the first time for him making a cultural shift to Japan. It's quite different. Living there, racing there, obviously doing all these new tracks, but he already straight away proved that he was a championship contender, and I think he was only half a point off the leader, and going into the final round he could have potentially won it, but obviously, like anyone, I choose to be in Formula 1 at the moment.
Yeah. For now, though, we've got a couple of new faces on that grid today. We have Alex Palou, who replaces Robert Vissoyou, and we have Renee Binder, who returns to Formula 2, replacing Mary over at Rapax. Now, when it comes to Binder, this is a veteran. He's been in, what is it, 7 teams over the course of 6 years. What do we know about him? Well, what don't we know? It's been a long time he's been here.
He's obviously had a lot of races. He's been racing in Formula V8 recently. Quite a different beast to Formula 2 in terms of the tires, the aero package and everything. But I think in the race we can maybe potentially see him doing quite well. Based on experience, Palou obviously Spanish driver, home track for him, good qualifying in 11th, so potentially he might have a good race. But again, very difficult to just come in and show up the drivers who've been driving all season. So we'll be looking and seeing what their strategy will be in the feature race.
They'll be getting ready to go out on track, and let's show you exactly what it takes to get ready if you're taking part in a Formula 1 or a Formula 2 race. This is brought to you by KFC Indonesia. Jagonya Ayam.
First of all, get my socks out. Obviously you roll them. It's quite long, so you wear it until it stops. And then you go to your underwear. You go put your long underwear on, like a long john. And then you get your top on, which is this. Tie top on, and then you get your racing suit on. So basically, you get the whole racing suit, you open it, and you close it. The whole racing suit on, and then usually after that, you get dressed inside the driver room, and then you take your boots, big size 47 boots, put it on. Usually I make them a bit special with my feet because they're too big, but anyways, you put them on and then you walk to your garage and then you get the final things ready. Basically, earpieces on. Obviously everyone licks them first and then put them on, because it's quite sticky sometimes. It's very important because you need it to hear and communicate with your engineers and team members. And you put the balaclava on right before you get in the car. You just wear it like so, and then usually, obviously there's a tear off that you need to take off. So get ready, and then usually I leave my gloves for last minute when I'm already inside the car. And before you jump in the car, important to get a bit of hydration, so you have to drink before and during the sessions. A minute or 2 minutes before you get out, put your gloves on and you're ready to go.
He's got a system. What's your system? Any rituals for you, Marlon?
I think I always put my socks on first, and I always get in on the left side of the car. I've never done it on the right side. So that's pretty much my ritual.
Give us a starting grid ahead of the feature race today. We've quickly recapped it, but here's confirmation then of how the 20 drivers line up.
So here on pole again, Charles Leclerc, 8 times out of 10 rounds so far. We have Giotto obviously in second. Good run for him in qualifying. Roland in fourth. Fifth for Markelov. Obviously they're looking to potentially do a lot better than those positions. And then next row we have Matsushita in seventh. De Vries, don't mind the picture, that's wrong, in eighth. You have Nato in 10th, rounding up the top 10. Palou, rookie debut, obviously very good position for him. And you have Ferrucci in 13th. Again, wrong picture there, don't mind that. Jordan King in 14th. And you have Gustav Malya in 16th with René Binder in 17th. And also, again, coming fresh into Formula 2 as a veteran, Sean Gelael in 19th and Ralph Boschung rounding up the top 20.
This is disappointing. This is a difficult day for Sean, isn't it? Based on the fact that you can't really overtake at Jerez, can you?
No, it's quite difficult. Based on DRS zones, obviously you have certain straights where there might potentially be an overtaking spot, but the track is quite abrasive, so I think if teams are able to manage this quite well, it's quite difficult, you know. It's a very old school track, so it's not as wide as, let's say, what we've been seeing in Formula 1 in Malaysia and Monza, obviously, where we saw a lot of overtaking in Formula 2. So I think you basically finish where you qualify.
Right, so I was going to say, is there a dark horse here? We talked a lot about Ollie and Leclerc. Anyone to upset the apple cart this afternoon from the start of the race?
I think obviously Ollie in fourth is looking to try and win it. Markelov potentially, and I think Giotto as well, just based on how Russian time runs their cars.